Narrated Abu Huraira. While the Prophet was saying something in a gathering, a Bedouin came and asked him, when would the hour doomsday take place? Allah's apostle continued his talk. So some people said that Allah's apostle had heard the question, but did not like what that Bedouin had asked. Some of them said that Allah's apostle had not heard it. When the Prophet finished his speech, he said, "Where is the questioner who inquired about the hour, doomsday?" The Bedouin said, "I am here, O Allah's apostle." Then the Prophet said, "When honesty is lost, then wait for the hour, doomsday." The Bedouin said, "How will that be lost?" The Prophet said, "When the power or authority comes in the hands of unfit persons, then wait for the hour, doomsday." Narrated Abdullah bin Ma'amar. Once the Prophet remained behind us in a journey. He joined us while we were performing ablution for the prayer, which was overdue. We were just passing wet hands over our feet and not washing them properly. So the Prophet addressed us in a loud voice and said twice or thrice, "Save your heels from the fire." Narrated Ibn Umar. Allah's apostle said, "Amongst the trees there is a tree, the leaves of which do not fall and is like a Muslim. Tell me the name of that tree." Everybody started thinking about the trees of the desert areas. And I thought of the date palm tree, but felt shy to answer the others and asked, "What is that tree, O Allah's apostle?" He replied, "It is a date palm tree." Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, "Amongst the trees there is a tree, the leaves of which do not fall and is like a Muslim. Tell me the name of that tree." Everybody started thinking about the trees of the desert areas. And I thought of the date palm tree. The others then asked, "Please inform us what is that tree, O Allah's apostle?" He replied, "It is the date palm tree." Narrated Anas bin Malik. While we were sitting with the Prophet in the mosque, a man came riding on a camel. He made his camel kneel down in the mosque, tied its foreleg, and then said, "Who amongst you is Muhammad?" At that time the Prophet was sitting amongst us, his companions, leaning on his arm. We replied, "This white man reclining on his arm." The man then addressed him, "O son of Abdul Muttalib." The Prophet said, "I am here to answer your questions." The man said to the Prophet, "I want to ask you something and will be hard in questioning, so do not get angry." The Prophet said, "Ask whatever you want." The man said, "I ask you by your Lord, and the Lord of those who were before you, has Allah sent you as an apostle to all the mankind?" The Prophet replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to offer 5 prayers in a day and night, 24 hours?" He replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to observe fast during this month of the year, i.e. Ramadan?" He replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to take zakat, obligatory charity, from our rich people and distribute it amongst our poor people?" The Prophet replied, "By Allah, yes." Thereupon that man said, "I believe in all that with which you have been sent, and I have been sent by my people as a messenger, and I am Daimon bin Laba from the brothers of Bani Sa'd bin Bakr." Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. Once Allah's apostle gave a letter to a person and ordered him to go and deliver it to the governor of Bahrain. He did so, and the governor of Bahrain sent it to Chusros, who read that letter and then tore it to pieces. The sub-narrator, Ibn Shihab, thinks that Ibn al-Musayyib said that Allah's apostle invoked Allah against them, saying, "May Allah tear them into pieces and disperse them all totally." Narrated Anas bin Malik. Once the prophet wrote a letter or had an idea of writing a letter. The prophet was told that they, rulers, would not read letters unless they were sealed. So the prophet got a silver ring made with Muhammad, Allah's apostle, engraved on it, as if I were just observing its white glitter in the hand of the prophet. Narrated Abu Waqid al-Laythi. While Allah's apostle was sitting in the mosque with some people, 3 men came. 2 of them came in front of Allah's apostle, and the third one went away. The 2 persons kept on standing before Allah's apostle for a while, and then one of them found a place in the circle and sat there while the other sat behind the gathering, and the third one went away. When Allah's apostle finished his preaching, he said, "Shall I tell you about these 3 persons?" One of them betook himself to Allah, so Allah took him into his grace and mercy and accommodated him. The second felt shy from Allah, so Allah sheltered him in his mercy and did not punish him, while the third turned his face from Allah and went away, so Allah turned his face from him likewise. Narrated Abdurrahman bin Abi Bakr's father. Once the Prophet was riding his camel, and a man was holding its rein. The Prophet asked, "What is the day today?" We kept quiet, thinking that he might give that day another name. He said, "Isn't it the day of Nar, slaughtering of the animals of sacrifice?" We replied, "Yes." He further asked, "Which month is this?" We again kept quiet, thinking that he might give it another name. Then he said, "Isn't it the month of Dhul Hijjah?" We replied, "Yes." He said, "Verily, your blood, property, and honor are sacred to one another, i.e. Muslims, like the sanctity of this day of yours, in this month of yours, and in this city of yours. It is incumbent upon those who are present to inform those who are absent, because those who are absent might comprehend what I have said better than the present audience." Narrated Ibn Mas'udi. The Prophet used to take care of us in preaching by selecting a suitable time so that we might not get bored. He abstained from pestering us with sermons and knowledge all the time.